Commercial Vehicle magazine. Firstly, the sentiment seems to be quite upbeat. So, a little on what is your sense and understanding with your various customer interactions? How is the industry poised at the current moment? Any one of you all can go and you all can talk together as well.
Yeah, so the important thing about this event is that it is happening after a long gap.
Right.
And after COVID. So there are two things. One is the economy has almost bounced back to the original position.
Right.
Fortunately, we didn't have the COVID issue in the last calendar year.
Yes.
So the economy has done well. Fortunately, India is among the recognizable league. That is, we are number 3. We have overtaken Japan.
Yes.
So that's a
big
great achievement for India. Another thing is that electrification is tearing into our face.
Absolutely.
And a lot of the visitors to our stall are showing great interaction for electrification. And Sensata fortunately happens to be a company which is offering the state of the technology part and advanced parts, etc., having better features. So that gives us a moment of pride to share that this is what we can offer to the customers, even for the current core technology, because Sensata is known more for the pressure and temperature sensor. But at the same time, it has diversified into feature products with the acquisitions for contactors and fuses and battery current sensor and battery management system, which is the demand from the industry. So what we see is a clear shift, rather emerging shift for demand for electrification as well as for alternate fuel vehicles, because we have a portfolio of product for the CNG, LNG, hydrogen vehicles. And of course in India, diesel, IC will continue for a long time. So we have got a nice portfolio for those products also.
Right. Just one perspective over here. The electronic content per vehicle from the time we transitioned from BS4 to BS6 has gone up drastically already. And now we are taking it to the next level with EVs and other products coming into the mix. So your domain is pretty much performance sensing. Is that the right way to look at it?
It is the right domain, because when we transition from BS4 to BS6, our contents actually increase.
Right.
Because almost I would say with pride, these efforts are there for that. BS6 happened partly contributed by Sensata because of the high temperature sensor and pressure sensor, which are deep essential part of any Indian application.
Right.
And the major part of the BS6 that high temperature sensors under the drive of Indian government, Make in India, we localized. We are the first company who is producing BS6 sensors, high temperature sensors in India, in Pune, and we catered almost 80% of market.
Fantastic. Great achievement.
That's the biggest achievement of Sensata.
What would be the ballpark proportion of this increase of electronic content per vehicle from BS4 to 6? And now looking at the RD emissions around the corner, looking at BS7 in the future, and then you have this whole mix of suddenly natural gas products, hydrogen with ICE, hydrogen fuel cell. Where is it all headed in terms of increase?
So if I talked about from BS4 to BS6, so earlier it was a mechanical engine and now it's an electronics engine.
Absolutely.
So if we see electronic content in BS6 vehicles, so I feel is close to 40 to 50% electronics.
Okay.
Because if I talked about number of issues in the current vehicle level, is close to some vehicles 17 to 20 issues, small issues, and then big issues. So I find that the electronic contents are drastically increasing.
Right.
EV or IC engines.
Right. You are obviously taking a lot of data. How do you collate that data? What is the system behind collation of data that is being relayed by these sensors, and how do you look at the broader picture then, if you put all together?
So Sensata has launched a separate division called Insight.
Right.
So it's an assimilation of the vehicle fleet data, overall vehicle health monitoring system.
Right.
Because what is the function of sensor? Sensor identifies the health of the vehicle.
Absolutely.
So what is coming from the tire, what is coming from the exhaust, what is coming from the engine, and the overall vehicle safety data. That all we can assimilate, we can store it on cloud, and we can analyze. So there's an initiative called Sensata Insight. Here we have products like Ergo, Smart Witness, Sendine, etc., where we can help the fleet managers to gain more efficiency.
Right.
And this fortunately was announced in the CES Las Vegas show.
Right. Your fleet customers typically come on board as on a subscription model, or how is the arrangement with the OE, if at all it is at the factory level?
For OE, we have direct arrangement with the OE.
Right.
With the fleet, we have a subscription arrangement with the fleet.
Right. Are you looking at interesting customers being interested in looking at it as a standard option now more than an optional fitment some years back or even until recent now?
We are working with the OEM as a standard fitment. That's the preference, and that will also give a lot of features we can add it into those standard fitment.
Right.
That's the.
And how do you ensure these sensors are up and running all the time? Because if one of it fails, it could have a direct bearing on the customer business because he's relying on those insights for his fleet, for example.
So see, our sensors is the proven quality, it's a global proven technology goes into the inside of the
Right.
sensor. So our sensor is a fit and forget. So we don't
Okay.
expect our sensors to get failed because
Fantastic.
that's the primary source of the data.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what are the different sensors that have been included in your portfolio? Something that was not so, imagined a few years ago. What are the kind of new data that you are able to relay from these sensors?
So if I talk about number of sensors, you name it, the sensors goes into the car. We have that technology, we have that in our portfolio.
Right, right. Are you enhancing this, at an OE level, where
Yes.
they would have
So
come
now-
to you saying that, this is my chassis and I want these kind of data to come in and study that?
If I talk about the next 5 years technology roadmap, so our technology roadmap is ready, our sensor design is ready. What are going to get adopted after 5 years? So we always work on the future technologies.
Right. Is retrofit a market for you all? Because there are a lot of CVs already on road. And if they want to benefit from your sensors, is there a market for them?
We are not, right now we are not targeting for the retrofitment because there are no legislation for that for the retrofitment. So that is
It has to be at a new vehicle ground up.
We need to work upon.
Right, right. Coming to the last leg of questions, what is the kind of capacity that you have? What is the kind of manufacturing utilization levels that you have? And how is your order book placed at the moment?
Yeah. So we believe on the philosophy of dual make site. If something goes wrong with one make site, then we always support from the alternate make site to all our customers.
Right, right.
We have sufficient capacity to cater all our customers globally, including India. And the additional advantage is that we will make site for every product to support customers so that the customer should not suffer any line shortages or stoppages because of the sensors or because of the electronic short supplies or maybe any pandemic situation happened to the particular country. So
Right.
we have sufficient capacity and we are blessed with our almost 90 to 100% order booking to run to utilize all our capacities.
Right, right. Any new capital outlay for the company, or at the moment you all are?
We have certain plans.
Okay.
We have certain plans to add additional lines globally, including India.
Okay.
So that will be in the place within another year or 2 years of time.
And any like-minded JV partners or technology companies that are joining this movement?
Yeah, we are discussing with multiple players in India also because our philosophy is to have our own footprint, but we are also evaluating the partners from the India.
Right, right. Okay, to sum it up all, what are the growth areas for the company and what are the challenge areas for the company?
So I would just like to add what we said earlier.
Yes.
Sensata is known for making sensor for mission critical applications.
Yes.
Where the application is complicated and the health of the vehicle depends on that.
Right.
So as an example, I can tell you that in our brake pressure sensor, it is evolving with the evolving architecture of the braking system itself. So earlier
Right.
it used to give only pressure. Now it can give different other types of inputs. So going forward, the areas of growth would be first, of course, electrification, alternate vehicle that includes CNG, ethanol, LNG,
Right,
everything.
right.
And safety,
Right.
because we will have safety standards. And there is one more to that, which is a tire pressure monitoring system sensors. So that is also very looking forward.
One addition over here, a pinpoint question on, since you brought up safety.
Yeah.
You're looking at very highly flammable, fuel sources now. You're looking at hydrogen, you're looking at LNG. So for that, any special applications have been built to ensure that there is no leakage, there is no, it doesn't reach its information point where it's not hazardous to the operator en route. How are you ensuring this? Because we're seeing a lot of these type 2, type 1 tanks, type 3 tanks. Some of them are cascaded tanks. So a lot of areas over there that can go wrong, and I'm sure your sensor will.
Yes, so we have specially developed sensors for hydrogen, low
Right.
pressure and high pressure.
Right.
High pressures are capable of reaching almost measuring up to 500, 600 bars. So
Right.
that safety is built into those sensors. If something goes wrong, then it will give the signal.
Okay.
And also with the Train 5 legislation
Yes.
coming in 24 or 25, we will have the high content of high temperature sensor and pressure sensor
Right.
if it comes.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate the inputs. Thank you.
Thank you.